Hello again, it's been a little while. I've kind of been slammed with work, but I'm going to go ahead and make us a new little critter today. We're going to make our little bird. Found that beak piece there at my grandpa's shop. So that can actually be used, I guess it's an old logging piece, but we can find other things to use. It's just kind of something I'm using to show that anything can be used for something. Made his feet go to where he can be planted in the yard, and then you can still see his little toes. So right here we've got our shovel head picked up at a garage sale, busted off. We'll get that wood out of there, and we'll clean her up with wire wheel, and we'll kind of go from there. Alright, so to get these rivet heads out of the handle to get rid of the wood piece, there are a couple different things I do. They're usually a pain in the butt, but I'll take my grinding wheel with a cut disc on it. I'll kind of take off the top of the head and not go too deep into the hole there. Sometimes you can get them out with a punch when you're doing that. This is kind of a bigger punch, but I've busted all my little ones on other silly things. But you can kind of use the edge of it to get it started, and that's kind of what you want. The second one back here, the head was a little more recessed. I couldn't get to it as well, so I took my drill motor, a little larger bit than normal, but it'll get you started, and then you can get that thing punched out of there. Once you get it punched out of there, you're going to want to take, I've tried digging the wood out the end, it's a pain in the butt. Once you get those two pins out of there, you can really just kind of take a stick from this end and knock it out. You can also see that your wire wheels don't always get in every area, so you can hit that with sandpaper, something just to clean it up a little bit where it doesn't look all funky when you paint it. So anyway, that's just a tip on that. Otherwise, you can see I took the wire wheel, got the shovel head good enough, and yeah, I'm kind of liking it so far. So I usually like to try and use the right tool for the job. Of course, I showed you already that my punch was a little too big for the holes. I end up drilling this one out a little more. I got to use that punch. The first one, though, much I hate to say this, once you've got it, drilled out and the head gone, if you just lightly tap on kind of like an Allen head wrench here, don't go whacking it and bending it and hurting yourself, but you can use something like that that's simple to get those out. It doesn't take a lot of force once you got the drill through it. Then once you do that, as you see, it's really pretty much easy just to pop that out, and the wood comes straight out. And then we got our piece ready to go. We'll start cleaning up our beak, get some nuts ready to weld together, make a little mess, and go from there. So to match the bird I've already got, which I planted back in the yard for the wife, I got one of these. Like I said, I found these at the grandpa's shop. He used to be a logger. But at estate sales, you'll find all sorts of weird things if you start going out a little more towards the country. Some sort of tractor implement, kind of a smaller version of the same thing. And there's lots of options of different things you can find. I mean, you can cut one of these off, cut the center out, weld the two together. There's lots of different options you can do for the same effect, just to get a long beak-like thing for a bird. But I'm going to go with this. I'm going to get her all cleaned up with the wire wheel. And, yeah. So to make our bird, it's pretty simple. We got our shovel head, my little logging piece. Got a couple different sets of nuts. I think I'm going to use a smaller one. For the legs, you can use 1/4-inch dowel rod. You can use 1/4-inch all thread. I'm using what we call snap ties. I work construction. I've been doing concrete construction for a long time now, and a lot of things get thrown away. So as I walk by a dumpster, if they've got some of these in them, I'll grab a couple of them. I see nut and bolt laying in the fucking dirt, I'll pick it up, put it in my pocket. That's how I get most of my hardware. Some things like these, other parts, yard sales, garage sales, estate sales. So when I use a snap tie, I always bust the little plastic cones off. They're not going to do any good for the bird, or you just slide them off the end when you cut the dowel. I got to get ready to go to work, and I'll finish this up tomorrow. Alright, so I remember I left off. Since then, well, the nuts together. This big old booger welder really is all that is. I got in a hurry, sorry. And I just kind of smoothed the top one out so it'll look good sitting on top. The bottom one's going to be covered up anyhow, so it really doesn't matter. I got our beak area here cleaned up, so that's going to be nice. A couple extra nuts I decided not to use. So that's where I'm at. Basically, I'll go ahead and we'll stick those eyeballs on there, give them the Cookie Monster look, and then we'll move to the legs. Alright, so I like this to kind of sit in a little deeper than what it normally would because of the size of the hole. I'll take my cut wheel and kind of run it down a little bit. Then after I do that, I can set down the vise here and I can smack it closed. That gives enough of a gap to get it to seat inside the little circle a little bit here. And that way, I don't know, I know this is yard ornament, but I feel a little better with it being in the hole. Just kind of weld the backside a little bit, you know it's not going anywhere, and you're happy, I think. I don't know. Alright, so what I'm using for leg are my snap ties that I got from work. You see they're about 15.5 inches. I'll use 3 of them so I can run these 2 about full length. That way we have enough to have about 4 or 5 inches in the ground. I'll use the 3rd one to kind of make 3 little toes going around him. That way it won't go too far into the dirt. And I'll go ahead and get working on that. We'll go from there. By the way, we got this guy already starting to take form. Alright, so now we got one of our legs cut up for toes. I haven't really got them quite to length yet. The middle toes, I just kind of leave the little knob from the snap tie on there. Granted, if you're not using that, we're using all thread, it won't be that way. Kind of take these guys, put a little bit of rounded taper to the end. Haven't done that with the other ones yet. This little guy here I'll put on the back of the leg, kind of give him that little extra 3rd or 4th claw on the heel. Then I always like to put a little curve on them, so I'll take one of the vise and just kind of whack it with the hammer. We'll give it just enough of a curve to make it be happy. Then we'll choose our length, cut our length, and we'll start putting the legs on the bird. Okay, so now I've got our 2 legs tacked on there. Different little angles. You can put a bend in them. What I'll do is I'll take my cut wheel and I'll cut off the top, kind of make it flush with the top of the shovel head. Just leave it wobbling there. This is kind of about where I want to put the toes anyhow. Just kind of use a good, judge. Maybe 4 inches in the dirt should be good enough to hold it up there. So I was kind of taking, see my clamps on the bottom here. It's probably good enough to be in the dirt, so I'll come up about a 1/2 inch top of the vise and I'll start putting my feet in. Toes, feet, whichever they are. Alright, so now we got the beak, the eyes, the neck. We got our legs on. We got the feet on all the way around. You can see they're all just goober welded. Can't do too much good in there anyhow. Now really the last thing we have to do is just take and cut off the tops of the legs there. Well, let's cut them with the cut wheel, make them nice and flush, and then clean up with the wire brush. Get some sandpaper in that hole there I haven't cleaned out yet, and give it to the old lady. Let her paint it up however pretty she wants. Well, somehow the last video clip of my video didn't get transferred and got deleted off my phone, so you can see that I got it planted in the yard next to the other one. Wife never did paint it. She's been busy building her garden for the year. So I guess we're going for the rust colored look. Being that it's Saturday, I got to go to work tonight. So tomorrow it'll give me time to hit it with the wire wheel again, and we'll get her painted up, I guess, to match the other critters in the yard. You can see that I did just kind of take and flatten that off. I didn't really clean this one up very well. These 12-hour days are just kind of getting to me, so Good news is I'm starting a new job and won't be rushed for time, so I'll have time to make more videos. So you can see it's kind of plants in the ground. I didn't put the bend in his legs yet. I was kind of debating not doing that. But I think he looks good. He'll look okay with a good coat of paint on him. Kind of like him standing upright compared to the other one bending down like that. So, oh, good luck with your critters. I hope you enjoy this video. Sorry it took so long to get another one out. And always remember, I never claimed to be a professional welder, because I definitely am not. Thanks for watching.